Hey fam, welcome back. We are talking about birds this week. We're talking about, we've been talking about birds for the last 2 weeks. This week specifically, we're talking about cardinals. And if you've ever seen a cardinal, they are stunning. My favorite color is red. So cardinals have always been one of my favorite birds. I'm not a huge football fan, but I am a fan of the Arizona Cardinals. That's my favorite football team. That's the first NFL game I had ever seen. In 2017, I went and I saw the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona against the Giants, New York Giants. And the Cardinals won. So I've been saying Cardi before Cardi B was even a rapper, right? When she was still stripping, I was saying that. And I was talking about the Cardinals. And I guess since like 2014, I think I started really liking the Cardinals for Arizona. But I've liked Cardinals as a bird ever since I was a kid. They are the state bird for North Carolina. And I've been coming here for 25 years because, like I said, my dad's always lived here. So we used to come here in the summertime. That's why I'm here now, because he lives here and it's easy to be close to him. So, Cardinals have always been a bird I've personally been very drawn to. And they are really magnificent, honestly. Like, when you see a cardinal, you know you're in the presence of like a really special bird, because they're so like unique and they're so vibrant and almost majestic. Sometimes you see them at like Christmas time. The most common, there's a lot. If you look up, why am I seeing a cardinal? You get a lot of different information and insight. But one that people say a lot that I don't resonate with at all, honestly, is that, you're getting a messenger from a loved one who's passed away. That's what they say, right? And that's possible. It's definitely possible. That's kind of the most, I think, common or like most talked about meaning of it. And it's actually the one I'm going to focus on the least. A, because like I said, it doesn't really resonate for me. But also B, I think that it does us a disservice to focus on the external, this is a message, rather than like the internal, what's going on with us for that message to come to fruition. So cardinals, outside of that whole messenger from above, has a lot to do with what we're doing in our own life, right? So a cardinal is going to have a lot to do with coming home, alignment, physical and spiritual alignment, sort of wholeness, right? Like a sense of belonging. Like, this is the right thing at the right time. This is a message that like, this is exactly how things are supposed to be at this moment. And that is, they're also, because of that, they're also kind of looked at as like a manifestation. It's like, something is coming into whatever you're manifesting is coming into alignment right now, right? So that's one aspect of the cardinal, which I think is really cool. When you see cardinals, it means like there's a wholesome, wholeness, belonging, homecoming, physical, spiritual alignment. One. There's also this other aspect of domesticity, where there's a sort of a love connection or partnership that's coming into alignment. And so it has to do with belonging, wholeness, and homecoming, right? So a person can feel like that too. So if you look up cardinals, you're going to get all of these things. You're going to get devotion, loyalty, things that have to do with romantic relationships as well. Because the cardinal is this very unique symbol of the home. And that is both like the homestead and the people in the home, which is also where the messenger thing comes from. Because cardinals, like most birds, are also symbolic of like earth and sky, right? So you get that loved one messenger as well. But I said I'm not focusing on that, so I'm not going to. But for me this week, well, since I got to North Carolina, actually, this has been extraordinarily apt. I have seen no less than at least 5 cardinals a day for the last 20 days. Minute I hit North Carolina soil, I just see them all over. To be fair, they might be the same ones. I might be seeing the same cardinals over and over again, possible. But when I go out on like a run, the one day I literally saw 13 cardinals. And I was just like, what is this? And there's a lot of different things that it means, like if you see them versus if they cross your path versus this, that, and the other thing. I moved into my apartment on Monday, and when I was visiting the apartment, a cardinal swooped by outside the back window. And I was like, okay, like this is going to be the apartment that I get. And it was. Because they are symbolic of home. Now, for me right now, North Carolina is really feeling like home. You know, I haven't had any homesickness. I don't miss New Jersey. I don't miss that life. I don't miss anything about it. I feel very, very present, very, very happy with where I am personally. And it almost feels like a confirmation of that. Seeing all of these, maybe hundreds of cardinals, maybe 10 cardinals that I keep seeing. And I'll see them like outside my window. I'll see them when I'm doing the dishes. I like just literally everywhere. I see them in pairs. I see them in threes. I see them in ones. The one day I saw 4 of them. I was like, what is going on? I texted my one friend who's my coach, my spiritual coach, well, my like feminine energy spiritual coach. Because if you have a coach who doesn't have coaches, get a new coach. You know what I mean? And so like when I'm working with my clients, they know I'm also working on myself always. And so I texted her and I was like, I don't know what's going on here. She was like, sit with this cardinal energy. And I was like, all right, let me sit with this. And a lot of cool things happened in doing that because I did sit with it. And I was really thinking about the peace and comfort that comes with being home and having the sense of belonging. And that's kind of what I personally have been going through. And that's what the cardinal is symbolic of. Right? Like a peace and a security and a sense of like, this is okay. The color also matters. Like there are red cardinals and yellow cardinals and brown cardinals. And I've always really resonated with the red ones. Like no shock there. I resonate with everything that's red. But red is always going to be connected to your root chakra. And your root chakra is to your security, your belonging, your safety. Right? Your sense of assurity. So the cardinal is really, really cool for that. We see them a lot around Christmas because that's like a time for, you know, home for the holidays and family getting together and things like that. And so there should be a sense of like alignment and security and belonging. So if you're seeing a lot of cardinals, then you're probably in a place where you're really aligning to home, where you're supposed to be, who you're supposed to be with. You know, but I also I did a little thought on it too, because I was like, okay, that's the bird. What's the word? Look what I did there. That's the bird. What's the word? What does the word cardinal mean, right? We see it all the time. Aries in the zodiac, if you're familiar, is a cardinal's sign. It's the first, right? There are 4 cardinal signs. It's 1, 4, 7, and 10. So I think it's, well, I know it's Aries. I know it's Cancer. I know it's Libra. I forget what the other one is. There's 4. There's 12 zodiacs, right? And 4 of them are cardinal signs. They're in the first of the season change. So that's Aries is the spring change. Cancer is the summer change, like summer solstice. Libra is the fall change. It's like September, October. What is after Libra? 3 from Libra. I can't remember. My if you guys are into the zodiac, I'm sure you're shouting at the screen right now. I can't remember. But long and short, maybe Capricorn. No, maybe Sagittarius. I don't know. It's probably an earth sign, actually. Maybe Virgo. Virgo an earth sign? Whatever. I can't remember. Aries is a fire sign. Cancer is a water sign. Libra is an air sign. So whatever it is that earth sign. Probably, yeah. Because, you know, zodiac's super cool. I'm not going to get into it right now. Anyway, when I was thinking about the bird, I started thinking about the word and places where we see cardinal, right? And Obviously, it's a title in the Catholic Church, but I'm not going into that. So cardinal, I started doing some etymology research on it, like the research that where it came from, right, from the Latin, and it means to serve on a hinge, right, which I thought is really cool, because if you think about a door, they say little hinges swing big doors, right? So you have a door and you have a door frame, but if you're not connecting the two, you've got nothing. So hinges are really important because, quote, pun intended, everything hinges on them, right? If something is waiting on this thing, it's hinging on it. So it's important, right? And it leads to development. It leads to transition and transformation. It's essential. And I like that idea too, right? Because home, when you have a place or a person that feels like home, you have a better ability to develop and transform, right? And I see that a lot with my clients, is that like the minute they feel seen and they feel heard and they know they have a safe space in our meeting, in our discussion, they can transform, and they do. And it is really, really special. Honestly, it's really special. So I thought the word cardinal was really important there too, and it is. Words are always going to have important meanings, but the bird cardinal and the word cardinal both have to do with security, belonging, importance. The bird has to do with devotion and loyalty, home, wholeness, completeness, right? And so if you're seeing cardinals, you're probably coming into a place of, I think, really alignment, but also a place of home and wholeness. So my question to you, I always have one. Who or what makes you feel like you're home? Right? Like, where do you feel safe? Your home is your safe space, right? My mom's always said this. Your home is your safe space. That's where you're supposed to be free to be yourself. And people, I think, don't realize the importance of home until they do something like move, right? Like, I'm in mid-transition and I've been thinking about it. I'm like, wow, I have been living out of suitcases for a month. I didn't realize, but I've been living out of suitcases. When I move in 2 days to my new townhouse, I've literally been living in suitcases for a month. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize how out of sorts that makes you, And so environment is super, super important. It's not the end all be all, right? You can absolutely grow, change, learn wherever you are. But environment really is conducive to speeding up or slowing down the process, to it's easier or it's harder. I have a friend who actually was just talking about that this week. She's a travelpreneur, and she just went, and she's living in Mexico, and she was like, yeah, there's a difference because I can walk to the beach and it's amazing, and it changes the way I show up for people. So what's your home like? What's your environment like? Do you feel whole there? Do you feel like you belong there? I'll tell you right now, when I was in New Jersey, I didn't feel like I belonged there anymore. I literally said there was nothing for me here any longer. It's all dead energy now. There's nothing here for me. And guess what? Sure enough, there wasn't, because here we are, skip down the road, new state. And so it is really important for us to consider our home, where we feel at home. It doesn't need to be a physical location, but it needs to be a place where we feel comfortable to be ourselves. Like, where is that for you? Is it in your car? Is it in your room? Right? Like, for me, honestly, when I'm like, right now I'm living at my dad's, I'm comfortable being me in my room, but I know the minute I walk out, I have a show to put on. Because, like, my dad, bless him, doesn't quite always see people as they are. And so I see that a lot. And I used to see it a lot with my students who were like, yeah, I can be myself in this room, but like, I'm not like this in my math class, not like this in the commons, I'm not like this in, on the soccer field. And I was like, no, I understand that, because we do put on that show, we do put on that mask, we do put on that armor a lot of times. The cardinal tells us, take your armor off and be yourself. You're here, you're whole, you belong, you're home, you're safe, you're secure. That's cardinal energy, guys. That's cardinal energy. That's root chakra energy. That's red energy. And it's really freeing, right? Like the bird, like cardinals, like that ability to be free. It's super freeing when we can A, function out of that authentic place, but also B, when we can feel safe to be ourselves. And there are people out there who are A, who don't even know who they are, right? That's where I meet a lot of my clients. Is like, yeah, I don't know who I am. I've been there and it sucks. 1000%, I get it. You know, but also, they also don't know, like, what they want. You know, who am I and what do I want? When you start coming into alignment, you start coming into that place of cardinal energy. You're here, you're safe, you're whole. Sometimes, for some people, you get that cardinal energy when you have a person that enters your life, right? They're your home. I have a client who, like, her home is her husband. You know, it's really amazing. For me as a Christian, like, my home is Christ, you know. Doesn't matter where I am. I'm home because, like, I have Christ in me, so I win. For some people, it's their literal home. For a long time, it was my car. Before I really, like, I don't know, went through all the things I went through, I used to feel safest in my car. Because that's, again, your safe space. Where do you feel safe to not be harmed, but maybe that too, but safe to not be judged, safe to just show up as yourself? Is that a friendship? You know, like, there's one friend that you can always just, like, doesn't matter, for good, for bad, for ugly, like, they show up for you, you show up for them. That's cardinal energy. That's loyalty, that's devotion, that's love, that's faith, that's domestic harmony, that's good relationship dynamic, that's that sort of physical, spiritual alignment. Like, I'm physically in the right place, I'm spiritually in the right place, things are working together to manifest whatever needs to be manifested, right? And so cardinal energy is really, really cool. Cardinal, as a bird, if you're seeing it, you should be really reflecting on home and wholeness and security and potentially domestic harmony, partnership, pairing. That right now, that aspect of it isn't fully, well, yes and no. It's not fully resonating with me because, like, I'm not in a place where I want a partner right now. Like, always I want a partner, you know, someone who's, like, my partner. But right now, I'm working on me so heavily that, not that I'm not holding space for that person, whoever he is, but I am focused on me. So I'm not saying that that domestic aspect doesn't resonate right now, because there is that, like, maybe someone's coming along my path to be ready for. But also, I think for me personally right now, home and wholeness is just, like, I'm in the right place at the right time. You know, things are working out in my favor. So, plus I love myself, you know, so it's like I'm home in myself, which a lot of people can't say, you know. A lot of people can't say that they're home in themselves. They don't feel like at home in their own skin. When I started 75 Hard, I was so grossed out by myself, truthfully. I was like, ew, like, how did I get like this? What happened? Which, like, physically, you know, I had that sort of aha moment in 2018 where I'm like, wait, how did I get here? What is going on? Who am I, right? But in 2021, most recently, back in April, and I was, like, taking these progress pictures and I was like, ew, like, that's really what I look like from all sides, like, gross. And that was a process to, like, really just be like, listen, this is your body, you have to love it, like, give it time, give it nurture, it's here for you, it's your home on this earth, like, just keep loving it, it'll get back to where it needs to be, you know, and really accept myself. But that was hard too, you know. So there are people out there, and I understand that as well, who don't feel at home in their own body. And, you know, that's a transgender issue, right? Like, my heart breaks for people who are like, I'm a male born in a female body, or vice versa, I'm a female born in a male body, because that you're always reminded of the fact that you're not safe in your own skin. There's really something to that, guys. Like, that's a real thing. And that's also the race and the gender issue. You don't want to feel unsafe because your skin or your genitals, or your parts. So that cardinal energy really deals with all that safety, security, wholeness. That's really, really important. So if you're seeing a cardinal, it means that you're on track to coming into wholeness. You're coming into that place of domestic harmony or tranquility, which is great. So I'm a huge fan of the fact that I've been seeing cardinals left, right, and center. Like, that means I'm on the right track. Something good's happening here, which I love. So yeah, the cardinal energy is really cool. It's a really, really cool energy. And so, this next football season, when every time you see the Cardinals playing a team, you can think about what they stand for in this discussion, because they're really cool. So next week, I will be broadcasting from my townhouse, so that's exciting. But we're going to continue on with the bird conversation. I think it's a really interesting conversation. I hope you're finding it to be the same. Like I said, this is episode 19, so we only have 5 more left. Well, 4 now in season 2. And that'll be a year's worth of content. So I hope you guys aren't sick of me. I'm not sick of coming to you. I love broadcasting. So I will see you next week. I'll see you next time talking about a new bird. Same bat time, same bat channel. No, I'm just kidding. But thank you for joining, and look forward to our next chat.